And the woodland being gets its own summon. It summons its fallen lover. So a lot of expecturas. So yes, you can turn into a dinosaur, guys. So you're gonna have an army with you, and you're gonna be a monster as well, like Sauron over here. Hello guys, welcome. Today we're gonna be going through the Druid build for Baldur's Gate 3. Now there's two alternative builds of the Druid that I consider acceptable, and we'll go through both of them. Let's look at the table to determine the differences between our two options. So the Spores Druid, the main differences occur at levels 2, 6, and 10 of Druid levels. So at level 2, the Spores Druid gets Symbiotic Entity and Hail of Spores. Symbiotic Entity allows you to use your wild shape to get some temporary hit points, and it gives you some bonuses to your damage, and it also gives you a reaction to do a little bit more damage, which is okay. Alternatively, the Moon Druid will allow you to transform as a bonus action, and it will also give you the Bear transformation, which would be the strongest transformation until level 6. This gets outscaled later on. It's not going to be relevant in the late game, but it's a nice boost in your early game. I would probably consider being Moon Druid for the first 5 levels at least. So on level 6, the Spores Druid gets a really cool ability where it can summon zombies from corpses 4 times a day, and those zombies can summon other zombies. The way it works is if a zombie attacks an enemy and that enemy dies within 1 round, it is raised as a zombie. However, it acts on its own. You don't get to control that zombie, but it is allied to you, and it goes for your enemies. And it lasts for 10 rounds until it dies, or until it takes damage and dies. Alternatively, the Moon Druid gets a boost to its bear form, to its transformation form. So it gets the ability to ignore resistance to non-magical attacks. So your wild shape attacks are going to be considered magical, and this is very strong, especially for bosses and creatures that are going to be really hard to kill. Then the final difference between them is on the level 10 of your Druid levels, which is that the Spore Druid gets the ability to summon spores, which can damage your enemies, where the Moon Druid gets the ability to wild shape into elementals instead of just the basic wild shape of the Druids, which is actually quite cool because they do quite a bit of damage and you get 3 attacks with it. So I would consider it greatly. So yeah, let's just get straight to the step-by-step. Let's go to the step-by-step build. Do this stat organization, then you're left with 6 points, which you can spend as much as you like. But keep in mind, while wild-shaped, the stats of your intelligence, charisma, and wisdom remain, while strength, dexterity, and constitution is replaced by the creature that you take the form of. So I would probably pick charisma or intelligence. For stats, nature and animal handling expertise, you're a druid, you need those, it's your job, and I would choose between insight and medicine. If this is going to be your main character and not Halsin or another character that you're respecting or a companion, then you could consider going insight and probably get a persuasion as well. Now, the main consideration when choosing your circle subclass is whether to go for Circle of the Moon or of the Spores. I don't think land is relevant, so it's between Moon and Spores. So let's go through the Moon Druid first. At level 3, we don't really get anything special, only 2nd level spell slots, and we can prepare them however we like at any time outside of combat. Yeah, on level 4 you get Raven and Wrath, and Deep Wrath, which is nothing special. Then I would pick Guidance if you haven't already picked it. What I really like to do here is pick Tavern Brawler. However, since this is your first ability score increase, you can also go Wisdom and Constitution, 1 and 1, spread it. These are going to be our first 2 ability score increases. 1 point in Wisdom, 1 in Constitution, and the other one would be picking the Tavern Brawler and boosting your Constitution. So if you want to start with 15 Constitution, at this point it would be very easy for you to come here and pick Tavern Brawler, put the point in Constitution, and now the 15 becomes a 16, so it's relevant. And then when you get to your level 8, you can respec and put 14 on Constitution when you start, because we don't want to be wasting ability points. This is why we do this. On level 5, you get the extra attack right here, Wild Strike. You make an additional attack after making an unarmed strike while in wild shape. Then this is the difference between a Spore Druid and a Moon Druid. It's right here. It's the primal strike that you get on level 6. Your attacks can overcome resistance and immunity to non-magical damage. So you can actually, you are not going to be doing half damage to most strong creatures in the game. And then you get Panther and Owlbear at level 6. On level 7 you just get new spell slots. Yeah. At level 4 you get level 4 spell slots and magic. Level 8 you get the Saber-Toothed Tiger, one of the coolest transformations you can have. And now if you haven't taken, if you took the Tavern Brawler feat earlier, now you take Wisdom. Now the reason why we chose the Tavern Brawler feat is because this damage actually works while you are in wild shape, for the attack rolls and for the damage, so it significantly boosts your ability to do damage. It's always good to have that option to become a dinosaur. I go for Produce Flame because it's a projectile, but you can also go for Resistance if you want to have some sort of additional bonuses to it, to your attacks. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and this attack is deal 9 to 21 damage. So you're gonna be as effective as any melee fighter, but you have a free bonus action, Step of the Wind. So yes, you can turn into a dinosaur, guys, and you can bite. Let's go into turn-based combat. 1, 2, 3, and you still do a lot of damage. You have your Pounce, which is a bonus action. You can jump on someone to knock them prone, and then have advantage on your 3 attacks. Very strong ability. So there seem to be a lot of options whenever you do this, guys. This is gonna be one of the coolest classes to play in the late game as, and you get the extra attacks. So, and your attacks do magical damage. This is probably what I would follow. Also, what you want to be doing with your spells, guys, whenever you're playing this class, since you're not going to be using your spells most of the time, you want to be using them to get summons. I would prepare Conjure Elemental, Conjure Minor Elementals, Conjure Woodland Beings, and I would also get a level in Wizard. So right now you would be able to get, so right now instead of getting the 12 level Druid and maxing your Wisdom, I would get a level in Wizard, put on the band of Intelligence, or put a little bit more points in Intelligence at this point, or depends on what they're gonna find on the late game. I would multiclass into Wizard, and getting that level in Wizard would allow you to read scrolls, and you would be able to learn spells like Create Greater, Animate Undead, or Create Greater Undead. It's called Create Undead, and this can create a mummy to fight. So you're gonna be able to summon your mummy. What you would do, you would summon at level 6. You would summon the Create Undead. You would create Undead from a corpse. This would give you a mummy, which, to be honest, they look very strong. Instead of creating a Myrmidon, I would, because you can upcast this spell and create a Myrmidon, but then you cannot cast Create Water Elemental, which kind of sucks. Because if I have a 6, if I cast this spell once and then I cast it again, when cast it when it cast against, it overrides it. So you can only have one use from each spell, one summon from each spell. Then I would also summon an elemental of either Ice, Mud, or Azure. It depends on what you want to do. And then I would also summon Conjure Woodland Being. And the Woodland Being gets its own summon. It summons its Fallen Lover. So a lot of Expecturas. And right now you should have a Mummy, and you should have this set. You could choose your summons by yourself, whatever you like the most. Yeah, you could do that, and you don't have to go for those. The reason I like the Mad Murphys is that their ability restrains your enemies and gives you advantage, while the Ice Murphys give you create ice surfaces which the enemies can sleep on. The Azure can knock the enemies prone as well. But I feel like this is a more reliable way. However, if you have a Firecaster in your team, you might not like that, because when they do create mud, the people in it become resistant to fire. Then you're going to be doing that. You're going to be having your summons, and then you're going to be using your wild shape to turn into either a dinosaur or a Myrmidon, depending to what you want. You can become a fire Myrmidon and do your Cinder Swipe, or you can just do your main hand attack 3 times. Scorch's Strike, yeah, there's like some smite abilities here. Cinder Swipe. Yeah, and you can also use your bonus action to heal yourself with your spell slots. So you're gonna have an army with you, and you're gonna be a monster as well, like Sauron over here. So Moon Druid is probably very strong for this situation. However, if you decide to go down the Spores Druid route, you're still gonna be getting the summons, but instead of getting the option to transform into Myrmidons, so your attacks will not be magical while shapeshifted. You'll still get the extra attacks, but what you won't get is the ability to summon zombies from dead enemies, and those zombies summon other zombies. Yep, these are the stats that I prefer, but you could also go for the default stats given. And now you wanna level up into a Druid of Spores. So you see, Circle of the Land goes into spellcasting a little bit, but it's still not giving you enough for you to consider going with it. Where here you get the Symbiotic Entity, which is one of the coolest abilities in the game. Okay, so continue as a Druid. Again, if you plan on shapeshifting, you definitely want to go the Tavern Brawler route. If you don't plan on shapeshifting yourself, then you don't need this, and just max out your wisdom. And in that scenario, I wouldn't put 17 points in it. I would just put 16 initially, so that now you would be at 18. Otherwise, you're losing a point. Or you could put it at 17 and put your Constitution at 15, and then just put a point now. And you want to have even stats at every ability score increase. So again, as you can see, they also get the extra attack at this level. And you also get the Owlbear. But what you do get here with this subclass is that on level 6, you can actually raise up to 4 zombies, which you can use to attack enemies. Those zombies are actually very cool in the way that whenever they hit something, the enemy dies within a turn of being hit by one of the Spangle 4 zombies. It reanimates as a zombie itself, and it continues to attack other enemies. So having 4 of those and making sure that they land their attacks would actually give you a huge army of zombies. Again, a Druid 10, you get wild shape. And again, I would go one level of Wizard. You get to choose when you want to go. I would probably do it after I got my Owlbear, so I would do it at level 7. Or maybe level 8, since I don't want to lose out on the summon of my Conjurer Woodland Beings. So, yeah. So you get these 11 levels, and then you get 1 level in Wizard. So, guys, I'm using a mod for this. To be able to get to max level, and essentially I can even go, I'm level 12 here, I can go up to level 13. I'm not doing it because it's probably gonna crash the game. So yeah, you have 4 charges of Fungal Infestation, which you can use to summon zombies from bodies. And then you can also transform into your dinosaur. However, if your enemy has resistance into non-magical attacks, you're gonna be doing less damage than the Moon Druid. So, as I was saying, it takes an action for the Druid of the Spores to shapeshift, where it takes a bonus action for the Druid of the Moon to shapeshift, which is important because you can shapeshift and do attacks as well when you're a Druid of the Moon, whereas if you're a Druid of the Land, you can't. So yeah, this is the combo. You would still summon the same monsters, would still animate Undead. However, yeah, this class actually gets animate Undead on level 3 by itself, which you can upcast it as a ghoul. So you would have your ghoul, you would summon a ghoul, you would summon your mummy, you would summon a bunch of zombies, and then you would summon a major elemental, minor elementals, and yeah, that would make you, and then you would be able to throw lightning bolts at the enemy, or do insect plague, wall of stone, sunbeams. Well, in order to be able to do sunbeams, you would have to regain the spell slot. There is a mechanic in the game, and I did find an item that can do this. But yeah, this is the build, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a blast last night when I played this build. I'm still on level 9 on my main campaign. This is just a mod, as I said. So I'm gonna be using this mod to make content for you guys. Let me know if you like it, or if you prefer for me to continue with my natural progression and just show you up to the level that I can. Thank you for being here, guys, and I'll see you around.